A common question dwelling in the minds of all language learners are learning new vocabulary. I often teach English as a part of the language training program in corporates and colleges. So be it a person who's working at a beginner level in the organization, or a person who's one among the senior most, or somebody who's in the higher position in the organization. A common question which is put forward to me is, how do I learn this vocabulary? And that is what we are going to see today. Now, please remember, I'm not going to cover different vocabularies in this video session. However, I'm going to cover how to learn new vocabulary, how to remember vocabulary. Hi all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Archana and I'm a corporate soft skills trainer with a decade of experience. I would love it if you're subscribing to my channel. People often stay in the misconception that the more vocabularies you know, or the more flowery your words are while speaking, the more it will grasp the attention of the listener. But truth be said, it is just the opposite. When you try to make your sentences too flashy and filled with hard vocabulary, on the other end, it actually leads to a bad impression because the other person is quite often not able to understand it, is not able to relate to it. So having a vocabulary is just like probably possessing a gun. A person who has a gun is not going to use it every time, but he is going to use it when it is needed. So the same applies to the vocabulary. You have it, you know it, use it, but only when appropriate. So as I said in the beginning of the video, let us see some tips to remember or memorize new vocabulary. The first tip is repeat, repeat, and repeat. Whenever you come across a new word or a new terminology in a language, use it throughout the day in different sentences. When you're coming across a new word in a language, use it in various sentences, as I said, in various scenarios. Use it in front of your friends, your colleague, your peer, your family member. Try to incorporate as a part of your conversation throughout the day in different situations, and very soon you would have added a new word to your vocabulary list. Now we come to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is use posters or sticky notes. Whenever you come across a new word, make posters of that. Make it colorful. Say you come across a word such as predicaments. So you want to learn it a lot. You really want to use it in your expressions. Write down that word in a poster. Make it all flashy so that your eyes would automatically go towards it. Maybe you can write it down in sticky notes and you can place it on your PC. A place where probably you spend too much of time playing video games or else doing your work. So every time, whenever you will be sitting in front of your PC, in front of your system, you would be looking at that word. You'll be visualizing that word. So more and more number of times in a day, you would be seeing that word, the more you have chances to remember that word, to memorize that word. This is a very easy technique, a very simple technique of remembering new vocabulary. The third tip, and actually a very beautiful tip, is drop pictures. So maybe in your day you have come across a new word called massive. Now you want to keep remembering it, keep repeating it. Of course, at the same time you have to visualize it. To visualize, apart from writing into stick notes, you can also draw pictures of it. So maybe you can probably draw a small mouse and you can write tiny on top of that mouse, and at the same time next to it you can draw probably a bungalow, a very big house, and on top of that you can write massive. So you keep seeing it throughout the day and you would be able to see, you would be able to visualize, you will be able to memorize that yes, this is what this word means. Massive means something very huge, something enormous, something big. As simple as that. It sounds very childish, but trust me, it is not. If you look to the books, to the textbooks of a first standard boy or second standard kid, they would have learned antonyms or the opposites in actually the same manner. Small, big. They get pictures of a mouse and elephant. Small and big. Pretty, ugly. Black, white. There are plenty of antonyms like this. And the same way, we as adults can actually do it if we want to learn vocabulary, if we want to improvise our vocabulary. To remember a new word, you can probably draw pictures of it. Something magnificent, you can probably draw something very beautiful, and in the middle of it, you may write magnificent. Very simple. So the fourth tip, and actually a very much academic tip, is make sentences of the new vocabulary. Maybe you have come across the term vivid and you want to introduce it or you want to inculcate it in your vocabulary. So make sentences throughout the day in using it in different scenarios. Maybe you can write, I want a vivid t-shirt. Maybe you can write down, this image is very vivid. You can use various examples like this. When I say it, I do not just repeat the word which I had said as tip 1, but I'm also improvising my vocabulary slowly. Also, like I told in the beginning of the tip, that this is a very academic way of learning new vocabulary. So when you're making new sentences, you're also improvising on your sentence structure. The last tip, and actually a very fun-loving tip, is converting that new word in English or the new vocabulary in English by converting it into your own language, a language with which you're very comfortable. For example, fool in Hindi means a flower, and fool in English means actually a stupid person who doesn't understand something. By following this method, you can actually build your vocabulary because it will help you to grasp that word very quickly. So friends, follow these tips to build your vocabulary and to improvise your vocabulary from the existing one. Please remember, this is not just for remembering or following new words in English language, but in various other languages. I actually use these tips in learning Tamil as a language. If you like this video, give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I will continue to upload more videos in the future.